Welcome to Seeker Distractions, and today we're going to be going through our top 10 tips on how we actually achieved 500 subscribers in less than 6 months. And on that journey, we was able to achieve over 200,000 views across all of our content in 6 months. And if you ask me or Mel, that's pretty cool. But we did all of this by just sticking to a routine, and we kind of distilled it into 10 tips that we thought that you guys would find really valuable. A lot of people online have posted about how 500 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers effectively change their life because they get a different routine. They start to put effort and work, and they learn new skills that go into the channel that you start to maybe think that can be applied other areas in your life and work and everything in between.
So if you're at the beginning of your journey or you're pushing for that 500 subscriber mark, rest assured we're just like you at the beginning of our YouTube career. But at the YouTube mountain, thinking how we're going to get anywhere or achieve anything. So don't be scared of starting. The journey is brilliant, especially if you have an idea or a niche or something that you yourself are really passionate about. It all starts with an idea. So the bravery to pursue something, you fail, see no results, and then you push against that wall, even though it feels like it won't move.
However, if you stick around, keep recording, keep posting, you might get something out of it. And 6 months after posting our first video from, I think it was about March, we basically then realized like if we keep posting, we can start to create the snowball effect of if it goes down that mountain, we can then effectively climb the YouTube mountain. But what we realized as well is that when you create content on the weekends and have a schedule in place, if you do it after work or before work or at lunchtime, any time that you can find to do it, you can start to then shape out other areas of your life that really can help do that. Because we've realized like on the weekends, our weekends are very like mission driven, I guess, a little bit. Like we'll have things that we need to do, whether it be creating content on the channel, recording, going to the gym, or doing the daily stuff that you need to do as an adult. But it gives you something else to do as opposed to just not trying to push for something that you want to effectively do full time or achieve. And we're nowhere near that. But we came up with some great ideas that we think you guys will be able to start taking great action as a result of this video. So that's why after our first 6 months of doing YouTube, we've created our list of the top 10 things that can help you get your first 500 subscribers. Now, just doing these won't just achieve it. You have to put in the work and the effort to actually get there. But at the end of the video, that's what you should be inspired to do and take action, because we were thinking about doing YouTube for years, maybe months, weeks, months and years and everything in between, because we were like, what do we do? What can we post? What can we deliver on the channel for people to basically watch? And then you kind of go into this rut of not doing anything. So the first thing we learned was about content quality and the value. What do you want to offer your audience? Now, honestly, we started with content that we'd love to watch. There are a lot of big names in the reaction space, and you know, some could say it's saturated, but we saw that many of them just weren't from the UK. They didn't expand on things as a duo. And I think one of the good things about us is that we're a couple, so we can give completely different opinions from people that live together and do everything together. So despite us being almost like clones of one another, we can give completely different opinions because of what goes on inside my head and in Mel's head. But one thing you really need to think about is the value and the real value that you're going to offer your viewers over the course of the channel. Now, for those that are new to the channel, I like to talk a lot, Mel likes to talk a lot, and some might call me yapper and you're like a little ranter at times, but like that's just how we like to basically dig into the contents, because we realize in the reaction space, those are people who will just sit there with their camera and just smile, nod, and then they'll say something. They'll say something that just doesn't add any content or value, and it's just
wow.
like, yeah, exactly. Wow.
Damn.
That's so cool. That, for us, was boring content to watch. And we know there's so many people in the space that have big names and they get a ton of money from the AdSense and the revenue from other areas. In terms of like adding value and like transforming the content is always a big debate, because I noticed in the reaction space, lots of people will just not transform the content. They'll simply react to it, but they don't expand on it, give conversations, give things for the people in the comments to talk about, which is something we've always like championed doing. A lot of our videos are probably 50% the content and 50% us talking, and I like that. Most of the people you'll see online is like 80-20, and then that doesn't really make you understand them as a character or what they feel about particular things. So for us, that was the thing we wanted to dig into and start basically building our content around that. However, we're in the reaction space, so it really does depend on the type of content you want to put out there on the channel or YouTube. Now, there's so much videos, so much content, loads of shorts that go out every single day, probably every second, every minute, every hour. It doesn't stop. So YouTube isn't going anywhere, and if anything, it's just going to continue to grow. So If you think your area is saturated, arguably you could say yes, it is. But in reality, if you're going to start creating content, adding value, transforming, and basically being a part of that niche or that vertical of content, you can start to grow whilst the platform grows. And obviously we're not as like early to the party, I guess, as some other, you know, YouTubers that you might watch full time. But it doesn't mean that in the next 5-10 years, if you put the effort in, you won't be able to achieve what you're looking to achieve with your channels. And it is a lot of hard work. It does take a lot of nights and stuff where you're just not making any progress, but that's just what the whole point of it doing the channel is. You get to that point where you can make it full time.
So that leads us over into our second point, quality production. Don't go crazy about being perfect, otherwise you'll never start. So what does that really mean? You've probably watched several videos just like this one, and if you are, you're probably trying to figure out how to start. You don't need to start off with expensive gear. So why don't you listen to us and start with what you have? Or go on a sale. Go get something from a sale. I don't know.
That is a good tip.
I mean, to be fair, that's how we started. We started off getting a microphone off a sale we saw on Amazon. So we thought, as long as we have good audio, we can start off with that. Then you go on to, let's get a webcam, see what we can get, what fits within our budget. Seeing as we both work full time, we still don't want to put in a big chunk of money into a camera just yet. Eventually we will. You'll see quality production go up eventually.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But that is where we are starting off, and where you can aim to start yourselves.
No one's first video is going to be the world's best one. It's going to get the most views, it's going to get loads of likes and comments and millions of views, and it's going to generate you revenue, because that just doesn't happen. There are some cases where that has happened, of course, where people had followings from maybe TikTok, Musical.ly, or Vine back in the day, and then they were able to snowball that. There's a few people that spring to mind when I think of that. But in the modern day, this reality, it just won't happen. And you actually see that a lot of the time, where people from other platforms like TikTok or whatever go into YouTube, but the following doesn't necessarily translate. These things have to kind of supplement each other. So that's why when we started here, we thought about, if we make well-produced videos, we invest some time in getting things set up, understand what to do, what not to do, investing in the basics, like Mel said, a good microphone, a webcam, maybe some lighting, just to make it feel a bit more professional. Because the early days of YouTube, you could use your phone and it would be like 240p. It wouldn't look very good, but that was basically the platform at the time. But now you kind of need the basics to get yourself going. But it doesn't mean you have to invest loads of money. We used Amazon sales, we looked online, we scouted for the best prices, just so we could make sure we weren't over investing early on and then we didn't commit to it. But in a way, that did create our commitment by saying we put some money into this, we got the setup and stuff, so why not try it? And that brings us to point number 3, which is consistency and upload schedule. How to be an overnight success eventually. I know it's cringy, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your channel. Consistency is so important, especially when you're uploading your first videos and you're trying to grab the traction and you're trying to get the algorithm moving and that snowball moving towards your first 100 subs, your first 10k views, whatever it may be, that number. It will take a lot of time, but once that snowball's rolling, you'll start to see on a weekly basis, you can tick in the views. And as we got to our first 500 subscribers, we'll also achieve 200,000 plus views on all of our content, which was our long form and our shorts, which it really made it obvious that when we had a schedule and we stuck to it, it meant that we had to make changes to what we do over the weeks. So our days were a bit more scheduled of, I will edit in the morning, maybe on my lunch breaks in the evenings or whatever, to schedule those videos, and then make the shorts that basically made sure the channel always had stuff happening and things were going out. But for us, we realized that if we stuck to the weekends like we're recording on now, and then we edit throughout the week, upload on Monday and a Thursday, and then the occasional Saturday if we had a video that we wanted to do for Saturday, it meant that our structure didn't get impacted on our day-to-day lives of work, because lots of people will be way more busy than us that have family, kids, or whatever. It'll be almost impossible to just do this one day a week and then upload it and then schedule them to go out for the rest of eternity. It just wouldn't work. You need a schedule so that you can remain consistent and committed to you and the partner or person that you're working with to create the channel. Now, Mel was really good about understanding the algorithm, but also how to build the loyal audience over time. So one thing that we kind of came across, which was an extra tip with this one, which is to make shorts from your long form videos, but we use a tool called Opus Clips to do ours. It's not an ad, but it's an incredible at breaking down videos and making shorts just so we have content that goes out, because shorts are basically videos that are under 60 seconds, but if we post them on a consistent basis, which you'll see, a lot of our videos are shorts because that's how we built the algorithm and helped build some traction. If we had one short a day that supplemented the videos that went out on a Monday and a Thursday, it meant we're making 9 pieces of content throughout the week. But as we got ahead of schedule, Mel would realize if we post 2 to 3 times a day on those shorts, we could start the cycle, build the progression, build the algorithm, and then also build the analytics and say we know what videos work. Because we had some shorts that have hit over 10k views, which is pretty cool, and it helps build the stats of like if you've got 100k views and 10k of them came from your shorts, that's 10%. So that means like that video works, and you can start to try and replicate it and understand where you can find more success.
And that leads us onto our 4th point, engagement and interaction. What that means is for you to engage with your audience and build a community. Do you actually want to build a channel if you don't want to engage with your audience? Truly, think about it. You want to be listening to your audience, what their reactions are, what their comments are, ask for feedback on your content. They won't always be 100% positive, but that's the trope of posting yourself onto the internet. It's always going to be some sort of troll or somebody who's not happy with what you, with what you posted, because you're not going to please everybody in the world. So please, please, please involve your viewers in your content decisions. Make use of YouTube and all of its capabilities by running regular posts and polls on the community tab, responding to comments on your actual videos, responding to comments on your page, responding to the answers you get on those polls. If you do post on other platforms such as TikTok with the similar content, respond to those. Because for me personally, I find that there's nothing worse than when you have a content creator that you, for example, absolutely love, and you get no interaction from them. They just post and that's it. They just steer off and they disappear. You don't feel like you have that community and you don't feel that connection. You don't have to be friends with your creators or with your subscribers. You don't have to be friends. But having that mutual respect and understanding that they're creating something for you and being able to reciprocate in the content that you deliver. You want to make your viewers feel valued. You want to make them feel like they are part of your community. And that is something that for me, for Luke, for us, we want to make sure we can bring out to the world.
And that brings us to point number 5. Using YouTube's interactive features. Even the largest creators do this till this day. It doesn't matter what size they are. So why wouldn't you use it? Now, my granddad would say to me, all the gear and no idea. Which basically means you can have all the tools, all the setup, all the analytics available to you, but you don't know what to do with it. Now, make use of the things that YouTube gives you for free. That's the first step. Make use of YouTube's end screens, the cards and the videos that you can pop up in the corner, or the community posts as Mel alluded to earlier, because you have to keep your viewers engaged, but you have to give them things to engage with. They're not just going to comment, like, subscribe, because that's what they're going to do. You have to tell them. You have to be interactive. You have to make things pop up and show them. Like, I always run several community posts a week on the channel, just letting people know I'm posting videos on the channel. Doesn't mean that everyone's going to see it, but it just shows the algorithm that I'm posting on a regular basis with the other tools and features that are available on the platform. Because you'll notice a lot of the biggest YouTubers will run polls, and regardless of if they have 1 million subscribers but only 1,000, 2,000 people see it and respond, they have immediate feedback to start posting other videos based on that interaction. That means they can start building other areas of their community and going into other niches, because that's one thing me and Mel want to do in the future. We want to leverage other areas of the channel, the niches that are available, and the content that we actually want to create in other areas, because we have so many ideas that we want to pursue, but we have to build the basis and build the community by using the features that are available to us now. You have to keep your viewers engaged, and we do it in all of our videos, whether it's, call to actions like saying like, comment, and subscribe, which I think you should do with this video. But it means you have to make sure that throughout these videos, you have things in which people are going to bite onto, respond to, make sure they go and comment and leave some feedback down below, because all of these things and tools in the end can boost viewer interaction, promote other videos throughout the channel. So a quick top tip within this one, if you want to boost this for people when you've noticed on your analytics are coming from, let's say, South America or Latin America, where people are going to be speaking predominantly Spanish, put subtitles on your videos. It's so easy. We started doing it for some of our content, and then we started doing it for all of our content. People were literally saying in our comments, CC and captions. I had no idea what it was. So I searched it up, and I realized they were asking for captions and subtitles because people wanted to watch our videos, listen to in English, but have the Spanish subtitles. That's bloody insane. We're like, we aren't Spanish, we're not posting for Spanish people. But we learnt that if we quickly make these adjustments, we can attract other audience members.
And with that slapperoonie, we're going to slither into number 6. Search engine optimization and discoverability. Optimize for search. Words are important, especially on the internet. You want to ensure your videos are optimized for the YouTube's search engine. Now, what does that actually mean? The reason you clicked on this video or any video that you are interested in is that you see the thumbnail, you see the title, you see the description. You are drawn into the video. So you want to optimize it for your audience, for your niche. So what do you want to do for that? You want to use keywords, and you want to make sure your videos can cross-pollinate between the key areas within your niche. For example, if you are a baker, you love to bake, it's your life. You want to post videos, you want to use your words well. So you can use how to bake, recipe ideas, top 10 ingredients that will never leave my cupboards, or something you'll always have to stop. You want to use your keywords to really draw people in and get the audience that you want into your videos. So to summarize that little bit, you want to use relevant keywords in your titles, descriptions and tags. Take influence from the largest creators, but also any source material or big names. So just see what works. You yourself, you got eyes, you got a search engine. Look at what works for other people and try and implement it into your own channel.
And now that brings us on to lucky number 7, thumbnails and titles.
7, sorry.
Now I know Mel was just talking about SEO and she did mention a bit of thumbnails and titles, but I really thought just it needed its own little segment, because building on from the last point, you need to create compelling and visually appealing titles that attract clicks. But there's basically 3 reasons that you ever click on a YouTube video. 1 is the thumbnail, it caught your attention, it looked interesting, you had to click. Number 2 is the title. The title was so interesting or intriguing that regardless of that thumbnail, how good or bad it was, you want to know more about that video, or you want to just watch the video for the sake of learning or viewing some content that someone's been able to effectively hook your attention. And then number 3 is the fact that it's coming from a creator you love from a big channel. And given you're watching this video, you're not there yet, we're not there yet, but that is the ultimate goal, where your own brand and your name supersedes the ability to make good thumbnails and have amazing titles. But we aren't masters at this yet, but we're on the journey. And if we lean into the things that we know works for other people, take inspiration, basically utilize what works in the market right now, you can start to grow that audience, grow the channel. And thumbnails and titles are the easiest way to do it, because there'll be some videos where if you go to the new to you section, especially on Mel's algorithm, the thumbnails and titles are wild, but they're not coming from big creators. The creators are like 5k subscribers, 10k subscribers, are very small channels that have seemingly been able to grab our attention by just being so different. And that's what people need to start doing in the space. So to summarize, just don't forget to create eye-catching thumbnails that draw clicks. Proper SEO basically means that your videos are going to be discovered by people that are searching for keywords or key things such as how to, top 10, you would never believe this, or these, or this. Like these keywords that people look for or see and go, I'm intrigued. Now, at the time of us recording, we're only 6 months into our journey. So if we even just look at our first video to this video and the ones we did in between, it's only gotten better. The thumbnails have gotten way better. The titles have gotten incredibly better, because we realize particular words and themes match so well. And then with the content that you're reacting to or creating, it just makes everything kind of marry together and actually stand a chance of being successful on the platform.
And that brings us on to numero 8. Analytics and adaptation. Monitor and adapt your content. Keep an eye on your YouTube analytics. Very easy to access. You get YouTube Studio, click into it, and it's literally right there. And you keep an eye on it to understand what's going on, what's working and what isn't. Even when you're starting out, those first views you get are so important. Don't get disheartened if videos only get a few views. I mean, for us, you can see our channel as well. A few videos will only be in the tens, a few only be in the thousands. It jumps up and down. So things like that you need to pay attention to. You pay attention to the metrics, the watch time, the audience retention, and subscriber growth. You use this data to refine your content strategy as you make more. Depending how frequently you post on your channel, so whether that is 3 times a day, every day, or once a month, you want to be able to include weekly or monthly reviews of your channel and your content. What does that mean? It means to look where are your viewers coming from. Some key things that we tend to look at and we are really intrigued by is the location. Where are our viewers from? Where did they come across us from? Was it from the homepage? Was it from a recommended watch next tab? Was it on the shorts? Where did they come from? It doesn't have to be where in the world, but we like to see that as well. Back to the point of subtitles, it helps us really pinpoint those people. It helps us tailor our content to different audiences. As well as the location, we want to see how long they watched our content for, how many minutes of average view time is it, and the click-through rate. So when they first make an impression on the viewer's page, to then them actually clicking through and watching the video.
And that brings us to point number 9, which is mindset and patience. Stay patient and remain persistent. Growing a YouTube channel takes a lot of time, persistence, hard work, effort, and innovation. Take it from us, we're complete amateurs in this space right now, but we know that everything we want to achieve is on the other side of persisting, and it's going to take a long time before we grow to where we want to. So for now, we invest and make sure that this channel and community that we want to grow and achieve and look like starts from somewhere. Because a lot of people get into the trope of the fact that if I had 1 million subscribers, I'd be able to do all sorts of content, I'd be so engaging, I'd be this person, but that is so far from the truth. The way we are on camera now is not how we're going to be in 6 months' time, a year's time, basically because we're going to get better at it, we're going to understand different ways to edit and be more present for the camera, let's say. Because if you look at people who are actors versus people who aren't actors, the people who think they could just be an actor would absolutely fail at being in front of a camera with a script and with other people and a set. You need to put in the work and the reps to be able to get to the place in which you can be a really good person on the camera, on your channel. You can improvise. If you're going to create a channel that's talking about headphones or locks or water bottles or cameras, whatever that theme, subject or topic will be, make it unapologetically yourself. Put your character in there, show that it's important to you and that you want people to come and click on those videos and really care, be valuable to them. Building on from more recent progress that we've had with the channel, celebrate your milestones, especially with your first video, your first subscribers, your first 100 subscribers, reaching 500 subscribers. The mountain and the peaks will always grow. You get to the top of that mountain, there'll be another one. We got to 500, we realized we got to get to 1,000, then we got to get to the next one. And that's what this is all about, because in your 9-to-5 day in life and corporate job, let's say for people who are working, you don't really get that sense of progression all the time, because with YouTube you can whittle away at it, and then by the time you know it, you can get to 100, 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, and you can see those goals and they're visible. They can be touched, they can be reached, and there's other people who have done it. So why can't you? One of the best pieces of advice that I've seen from Mr. Beast, unfortunately, despite the allegations, I think it's still really good advice and you guys should really take it into account. Make 100 videos, then come talk to me. Because he was getting lots of people who would come to him saying, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to do this, I want to create content. But they haven't made one piece of content. So the immediate barrier to entry was make 100 videos, see what works, see how your channel performs, where you're going to grow, what works for your channel, what doesn't work for your channel. And then you have the basis and the foundation to make decisions moving forward. The first videos me and Mel made were pretty bad, but after hundreds of videos, which a majority of those were short and about 30 or so of them were long form videos, we started to understand what our audience does and doesn't want. And as we make the dent in towards 100 long form videos on the channel, just like this one, we get to understand that if we stick to this journey, we can see the growth in areas that we want to achieve, and we can start to double down and lean into those areas. So ultimately, we're going to stick at this, see the growth over time. It's going to be hard. Like, it will be hard, especially as you balance growing up, life, moving out, full-time jobs, travel, holidays, whatever it is. But anything that's worth achieving in life is going to be hard. So start your journey now. We see online all the time, people will say, I want to make content. Where do I start? Or I even talk to my friends and maybe Mel's friends too. Where do I start? I want to make content. Where do I start? It's always that same question. Where do I start? How do I start? Why? Don't get me wrong, they're valid questions to ask, but when you ask questions and you don't take action, you're not going to see the results or growth and understand that if I keep posting content, keep creating this audience of people that I want to bring on the journey, you're never going to get there. It's like with anything in life. If you want to go from like high school or A levels for us over here in the UK and you want to go to university, guess what? It's going to take a lot of work and studying to get to university, do the applications and get there, then you get your job and you go through life. Anything like that in life is hard regardless of your situation and all the circumstances that go around it. So what I see is loads of people apply the same mindset towards what they have in traditional life with YouTube and content, because they kind of seemingly think that people won't care, won't subscribe, won't like, won't comment, and maybe they're focusing on the wrong reasons for starting. But in reality, if you just start, you're going to build the audience, you're going to get people interested, and you're going to create that sense of community that maybe you're lacking in your day-to-day life. And then that's where we can start to build it ourselves and go, we have 500 plus subscribers, then we're going to move to 1,000, then we're going to build this community and the posts around it that will basically supplement it. And take it from me and take it from Mel, we spent so many weeks and months and maybe even years procrastinating on the idea of starting a channel. And it sounds absolutely ridiculous now that we're 6 months into it, because why didn't we start sooner? That's the questions we ask most of the time, because if we started a year ago, 2 years ago, where would we be now? But that's something we have to think about in the future, because now we're on that journey. We can't think about the past and the decisions we didn't make. So now it's all about understanding that if you're just thinking about your ideas, not taking action, you're procrastinating. Why not just pick up the phone, pick up your camera, record yourself, and basically just start that journey. That first video you record doesn't have to go live, but just edit it, play around with it, understand that if I do these different things and tweak this video, it might actually work. And then you can just get into the routine. If we fast forward 6 months from when we first started, everything has gone better. Our first video was rubbish, but now the ones we're making are a little bit better. That incremental bit, basically when it comes to the thumbnails, the title, the editing, the content that we're watching and the way we're reacting, it's all gone better. The way in which I will rant and Mel will rant about a particular topic and we'll go on forever and ever about it has just gone better. And people actually gave us feedback about this, which was amazing. People love the fact that we started talking about things in greater detail and basically debating one another on camera about a video that we're jointly watching with you guys. That was like the no-brainer thing for me of like, that's what we got to double down in, because that's the content we would watch when we actually spend time together watching YouTube. So ultimately, for anyone who's umming and ahhing, deciding they've got a notepad full of notes about a channel, I did that. Put the notebook down, create some content, have some fun. You might make something out of it. And we're going through that now. We're living proof of trying to achieve that. So congratulations, you've got to the end of this video, but what's next? What I would suggest is use these tips, start making content, and try and iterate different ideas and things that you want to create, post online, and build a community and build a channel. But if I reflect about what's next for us, it's ultimately going to be doing more of the same thing, but we're going to lean into these 10 tips way more often, drive change to the channel, especially in the areas that we want to. Because I know Mel wants to expand into some gaming and longer form videos. I too would love to do that as well. So that's something that in the future we're really going to start to do. I would like to look at doing challenge videos, maybe even some more content that's a bit more silly and fun, but it's something that's unique and different from simply only doing reactions, because our channel is called Seeking Distractions. It's not simply just going to be a reaction channel for its entire existence. We want to pivot into some of the things, for example, that Good Mythical Morning do with the challenge aspect and having fun, because that community aspect and like doing things in camera like this makes people understand the kind of person I am, the kind of person Mel is, how she thinks, how I think, how we collectively operate and think together. That's the kind of thing that actually brings value to the audience, going back to some of the previous points said in this video. But ultimately, what I would say, make sure whatever you're doing, it's unique, it's different, make it yours, put your stamp on it. We made this channel because we realized there was no one online, especially in the UK, that were a couple online reactors or creating content and basically pivoting across to the areas we want to go into. So with this channel, we're attracting some amazing viewers, building a community, and just like yourself, we're basically getting people who are clicking our videos, watching them, liking, commenting, and subscribing. That is the goal of YouTube, because that's how you grow. And that's basically the road that we're going to continue on whilst we go on the what's next phase of our journey.
And that marks the end of the video, pretty much. Sort of top tips and things that we have learned throughout our current 6-month journey of starting YouTube and testing things out ourselves. YouTube as a platform is only going to grow, so your channel will eventually grow over time. You may be quicker than us within having it grow within a couple months, or you may take years. It is truly up to you to really be consistent in uploading and staying active on your own channel.
So you're going to have to tap into all of the ideas and the tips that we shared in this video. Make sure you go and watch some other videos on our channel just so you get an understanding of what kind of things we're doing to actually get to where we want to go. That might give you a bit of feedback in regards to your first video, your first 5-10 videos, and how you want that to look like.
With that, we have been seeking distractions, and we both really hope this video helps you on your journey to your first 500 subs or your first one, to get your first video out, to get onto that stepping stone.
And with that, make sure you do leave a like, comment, subscribe if you found this video valuable, useful, insightful, and just go check out the channel. We've got some amazing content on here, and it actually serves as a really good way to track and document our journey from video 1 to the next video. It shows the progression. So with that said, make sure you guys go and start your journey. We'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.